As I started looking into what I am calling the cult of Trump, I realized that I was missing the foundation that allowed for its rise. That is what this video is going to provide. This is the foundation that helped build the audience that would one day become an overt religious movement. A movement that would raise a single man to the heights of messianic glory within evangelical circles. The story of the cult of Trump is filled with lies and half-truths, conspiracies, hatred and bigotry, and terroristic violence. It is a truly gripping tale, but it did not start with Donald Trump. This story began with the founding of the Moral Majority in 1979 by Jerry Falwell. This is his story. Jerry Falwell and his twin brother Gene were born on August 11, 1933, in Lynchburg, Virginia's Fairview Heights region. They were the offspring of Carrie Hezekiah Falwell and Helen Virginia Falwell. Falwell's father was an entrepreneur and former bootlegger with agnostic beliefs. Tragedy struck when his father fatally shot his own brother, Garland, and eventually succumbed to cirrhosis of the liver at 55 in 1948. The family had a history of atheism, as even Falwell's paternal grandfather was a fervent atheist. During his youth, Jerry Falwell was part of a group known as the Wall Gang in Fairview Heights, aptly named due to their habit of congregating on a concrete wall at the Pickerel Cafe, according to police records. In 1949, Falwell's path led him to the Park Avenue Baptist Church, where he had his initial encounter with Maisel Pate, a pianist at the church. Their connection grew, leading to their marriage on April 12, 1958. Together, they had 3 children: Jerry Jr., who later became a lawyer and chancellor at Liberty University; Jonathan, who served as the senior pastor at Thomas Road Baptist Church; and Jeannie, a surgeon. Jerry Falwell and his wife, Maisel, shared a strong and supportive relationship that spanned nearly 50 years. Their public appearances frequently depicted their deep bond, and they openly expressed physical affection towards one another. Falwell humorously quipped about their enduring marriage, stating that divorce was never an option, but perhaps murder, in jest, of course. Maisel admired her husband's peaceful and amiable demeanor, highlighting his efforts to maintain harmony within their household. Their marriage persisted until Falwell's passing. Educationally, Falwell graduated from Lynchburg's Brookville High School before attending the unaccredited Baptist Bible College in Springfield, Missouri in 1956. He entered the college with the intention of disrupting Maisel Pate's engagement to another student at the institution. In recognition of his contributions, Falwell was later bestowed with 3 honorary doctorates: a Doctor of Divinity from Tennessee Temple Theological Seminary, a Doctor of Letters from California Graduate School of Theology, and a Doctor of Laws from South Korea's Central University in Seoul. Origins and formation. The roots of the Moral Majority can be traced back to 1976, when Baptist minister Jerry Falwell Sr. initiated a series of nationwide I Love America rallies. These rallies marked a departure from Falwell's previous adherence to the Baptist principle of keeping religion and politics separate. His change of heart was prompted by his perception of a decline in the nation's morality. Through these rallies, Falwell not only aimed to raise awareness about vital social issues, but also to assess public support for a formal organization. By engaging in this outreach, he also elevated his own leadership profile. Supported by a network of ministers and ministries, Falwell was well positioned to establish the Moral Majority within a few years. The catalyst for the creation of the Moral Majority was the struggle for control over the conservative Christian advocacy group Christian Voice in 1978. A controversial remark by Christian Voice's president, Robert Grant, led to the departure of prominent figures, including Paul Weyrich, Terry Dahlin, Richard Beegery, and Howard Phillips. These individuals later joined forces with Jerry Falwell Sr. during a 1979 meeting, urging him to establish the Moral Majority, a term coined by Weyrich. This period marked the emergence of the new Christian right. Ed McAteer, who founded the Religious Roundtable the same year, also became involved with the Moral Majority establishment and activities. Jerry Falwell Sr. and Paul Weyrich officially founded the Moral Majority in June 1979, with the genesis of the organization often traced to a freedom rally hosted by evangelist James Robison. While predominantly rooted in the southern United States, the Moral Majority's influence extended beyond the region through its state chapters and political engagements. By 1980, it had gained a foothold in 18 states, facilitated by Falwell's resources, including his mailing list from the Old Time Gospel Hour program and control over the publication Journal Champion. During the 1980s, Falwell emerged as the prominent spokesperson for the moral majority, surpassing the influence of Christian Voice. The organization's headquarters were located in Lynchburg, Virginia, where Falwell presided over Thomas Road Baptist Church. Drawing leadership primarily from Falwell's Baptist Bible Fellowship associates, the moral majority also included Catholics and Jews in its advisory board, a decision not universally embraced within the leadership. The moral majority comprised conservative Christian political action committees dedicated to advocating for issues aligned with their moral values. With millions of members, it became a significant force in American politics, boasting over 4 million members and 2 million donors at its peak. Its influence extended to about 20 state organizations, with Washington State's chapter being the largest. In 1985, it merged into the Liberty Federation while maintaining its distinct identity, and in 1987, Falwell stepped down as formal head, succeeded by Jerry though Falwell remained active in the organization. Dissolution and legacy. By the end of Ronald Reagan's presidency, Christian right groups experienced a decline, marked by decreased donations and a changing perception of the nation's moral state. The moral majority faced financial challenges, contributing to its eventual dissolution as it became part of the Liberty Federation. Despite this, Falwell expressed optimism, stating that the religious right had firmly established itself. The moral majority officially disbanded in 1989, with Falwell asserting that their mission had been accomplished, and religious conservatives were now firmly rooted in American society, mobilizing conservative Americans. The primary objective of the moral majority was to activate politically engaged conservative individuals on issues they deemed significant. To achieve this goal, a range of strategies were employed, including direct mail campaigns, telephone hotlines, rallies, and religious television broadcasts. Despite its relatively short existence of only a decade, the moral majority swiftly gained prominence as a potent political force, largely achieving its mobilization aims. Scholars Robert Liebman and Robert Wuthnow offer several factors explaining this achievement. The moral majority was established with robust financial support from the outset. Consistent communication between its leaders and constituents facilitated uniform messaging at all levels. Leaders possessed prior experience in organizational management. Public sentiment was receptive to the issues championed by the moral majority, campaigning on various issues. The moral majority directed its efforts towards an array of causes, including advocacy for traditional family values, opposition to media outlets accused of undermining family values, resistance to the Equal Rights Amendment, and strategic arms limitation talks, rejection of state endorsement of homosexual acts, support for restrictive abortion policies, even in extreme cases, promotion of Christian prayers within schools, proselytizing non-Christians, including Jews, for conversion, integrated social platform. The moral majority effectively constructed a cohesive social platform that resonated with conservative Christians. This was achieved by uniting previously separate concerns under the umbrella of traditional family values. The organization portrayed issues like abortion, divorce, feminism, gay rights, and the Equal Rights Amendment as threats to the traditional American family concept and values. They tapped into a perceived erosion of societal morality that deeply resonated with many evangelicals. The group also campaigned for the introduction of prayer in schools and tax incentives for married couples as protective measures for traditional family structures. By fostering issue-driven discussions, they rallied a substantial supporter base, which they engaged through their network of preachers and mailings. Focus on gay rights. The moral majority particularly emphasized anti-homosexual rhetoric, which garnered higher contributions compared to other topics. While not overtly anti-gay in their public stance during the 1970s, they strategically harnessed a shared anti-gay sentiment among their supporters. This sentiment played a pivotal role in unifying grievances, shaping collective identity, and identifying a perceived adversarial force that conservative Christian activists aimed to combat. Instead of directly confronting gay rights, feminism, or pro-abortion agendas, the moral majority employed pro-family language to articulate their standpoint. For instance, they defined a family as comprising two heterosexual parents, a definition that aligned with conservative values. As their influence grew in the 1980s, the organization's rhetoric on gay rights became more explicit. They characterized the gay rights movement as an assault on the American family. Jerry Falwell Sr. asserted that due to societal rejection, gay individuals targeted the young and thus posed a threat to children and families. Some members, like moral majority commentator Charlie Judd, adopted even stronger stances, asserting that the spread of homosexuality would lead to the demise of American culture, comparing it to a fatal leap off a building. Following the dissolution of the moral majority, Falwell continued planting seeds of hatred and lies that would one day blossom into the cult of Trump. The Clinton Chronicles. In 1994, Jerry Falwell actively promoted and distributed a video documentary titled The Clinton Chronicles, an investigation into the alleged criminal activities of Bill Clinton. This documentary aimed to establish a connection between Bill Clinton and a conspiracy involving Vince Foster, James McDougal, Ron Brown, and a purported cocaine smuggling operation. Despite the theory being subsequently discredited, the video managed to sell over 150,000 copies. The financial backing for the film's production was partially provided by the Citizens for Honest Government, to which Falwell contributed $200,000 in 1994 and 1995. This organization conducted interviews with Arkansas State Troopers Roger Perry and Larry Patterson in 1995. These interviews revolved around the alleged conspiracy surrounding Vincent Foster's death, and also touched upon the allegations in the Paula Jones affair. The promotional content for the 80-minute video included a segment featuring Falwell interviewing an unidentified journalist who spoke from the shadows, expressing fear for his safety. This journalist accused Clinton of orchestrating the deaths of several journalists and close associates who had supposedly become too entwined in his alleged illicit activities. Subsequently, it was revealed that the shadowed journalist was Patrick Matriciana, the video's producer and president of Citizens for Honest Government. Matriciana later acknowledged to investigative journalist Murray Waz that he was not, in fact, an investigative reporter. Interestingly, Falwell seemed to distance himself from the video's claims later on. In an interview for the 2005 documentary The Hunting of the President, Falwell admitted, "To this day I do not know the accuracy of the claims made in the Clinton Chronicles." Response to September 11th attacks. In the aftermath of the September 11th attacks in 2001, Jerry Falwell made controversial statements on Pat Robertson's show, The 700 Club. He expressed his belief that certain groups, including pagans, abortionists, feminists, gays, lesbians, the ACLU, and People for the American Way, among others, had contributed to the secularization of America, which he saw as a factor in the tragic events. Falwell suggested that their actions had provoked divine displeasure, partially leading to the attacks. He controversially stated that the attacks were, in a sense, deserved due to these factors. This viewpoint garnered significant criticism, with writer Christopher Hitchens even characterizing it as treason. After facing considerable backlash, Falwell backtracked and clarified that he held terrorists solely responsible for the attacks. He acknowledged that his previous remarks may have given the wrong impression, especially to the LGBTQ+ community, and apologized for any misunderstanding. Interestingly, Falwell's own supporters criticized him for retracting his earlier statements about divine judgment and its underlying causes. These followers had long heard Falwell preach about the need for America to repent, live more devoutly, and provide stronger support to Israel if it sought divine protection and blessings. Declining health and passing. In the early months of 2005, Falwell's health began to falter. He was admitted to the hospital for a viral infection, which led to a 2-week stay. Following his discharge, he faced another health setback on May 30th, 2005, when he experienced respiratory arrest and required rehospitalization. Despite these challenges, Falwell rallied and returned to his duties after being released from the hospital. Later in the same year, medical intervention became necessary to address a 70% blockage in his coronary arteries, leading to the implantation of a stent. On May 15, 2007, tragedy struck when Falwell was discovered unconscious and pulseless in his office around 10:45 a.m. The distressing event occurred after he missed a morning appointment, prompting concern. He was swiftly transported to Lynchburg General Hospital, where attempts to resuscitate him were unsuccessful. Ron Godwin, the executive vice president of Liberty University, recounted that Falwell had appeared well during breakfast that day, but his condition deteriorated unexpectedly. Despite the immediate administration of CPR, Falwell's condition was dire. A live press conference held at 2:10 p.m. confirmed the sorrowful news. Falwell had passed away due to cardiac arrhythmia, or sudden cardiac death. He was 73 years old at the time of his passing. Falwell's wife, Maisel Pate, and his sons, Jerry Falwell Jr. and Jonathan Falwell, were present at the hospital when he was pronounced deceased. Falwell's funeral services took place on May 22, 2007, at Thomas Road Baptist Church. Prior to the funeral, his body lay in repose at both the church and Liberty University. The burial service was held privately. He was interred on the Liberty University campus close to the Carter Glass Mansion and his office, sharing the area with his mentor, B.R. Lacken. Following Falwell's demise, his son succeeded him in his roles. Jerry Falwell Jr. became the president of Liberty University, and Jonathan Falwell assumed the position of senior pastor at Thomas Road Baptist Church. Jerry Falwell's daughter, Jeannie F. Savas, pursued a career as a surgeon. In his final televised interview, which took place on May 8, 2007, just a week before his passing, Falwell spoke with Christiane Amanpour for the CNN series God's Warriors. During the interview, he shared his aspiration for an additional 20 years to fulfill his vision for the university he had founded. Falwell's last televised sermon occurred on May 13, 2007, on Mother's Day, marking a poignant conclusion to his dedicated and impactful life, legacy, and controversies. Opinions on Jerry Falwell's legacy are sharply divided. Advocates applaud his advancement of a socially conservative agenda, highlighting his evangelistic efforts and emphasis on church expansion. Conversely, critics level accusations of hate speech against him and brand him as an agent of intolerance. The outspoken atheist and social commentator, Christopher Hitchens, characterized Falwell's work as a Chaucerian fraud and derided it as faith-based fraud. Hitchens particularly criticized Falwell's association with what he labeled the most thuggish and demented Israeli settlers, along with Falwell's assertion that the 9/11 attacks were divine retribution for America's perceived moral failings. Hitchens found it perplexing that Falwell's controversial career failed to challenge society's unwavering affinity for the faith-based realm. Hitchens also highlighted Falwell's seemingly contradictory stance toward Jewish people, remarking on his insistence that his own followers must appreciate Jews due to their financial prowess. Following Falwell's death, Hitchens appeared on CNN, asserting, "The empty life of this ugly little charlatan proves only one thing, that you can get away with the most extraordinary offenses to morality and to truth in this country if you will just get yourself called reverend." During a certain period, Falwell's ministry was plagued by prank callers, including home activists, who accounted for an estimated 25% of his incoming calls, until the ministry decided to disconnect the toll-free number in 1986. In the mid-1980s, Edward Johnson took his grievances to another level, programming his Atari home computer to inundate Falwell's 1-800 phone line with thousands of repeat calls. Johnson alleged that Falwell had deceived his mother and misappropriated substantial sums of money from his followers, resulting in a phone bill estimated at $500,000. Southern Bell intervened, forcing Johnson to cease his actions. Jerry Falwell Jr. Falwell's son succeeded his father as the president of Liberty University following his passing. However, Falwell Jr.'s tenure was marred by controversy. He was placed on indefinite leave on August 7, 2020, after sharing an inappropriate photo on social media. Subsequent revelations about his and his wife's alleged sexual and financial entanglement with an associate led to his resignation on August 24, 2020. Regarding Falwell Sr.'s personal life, Falwell Jr. later disclosed that his father's initial motivation for attending church during his teenage years stemmed from his affection for Maisel, a pianist at the church who was engaged at the time. Falwell Sr. purportedly employed deceptive tactics to persuade her to break off her engagement, ultimately leading to their union. In conclusion, Jerry Falwell Sr.'s life and legacy remain a subject of complex and contrasting perspectives. As a prominent figure in American evangelicalism, he played a pivotal role in advancing socially conservative ideals and promoting his vision of faith-based values. His efforts in evangelistic ministries, church expansion, and his outspoken stance on issues that he believed were eroding the moral fabric of America garnered both staunch supporters and vehement critics. Falwell's unwavering commitment to his beliefs, particularly his public statements following significant events like the September 11th attacks, sparked intense debate. While his supporters saw him as a champion of traditional values and a defender of faith, his detractors accused him of divisive rhetoric and intolerance. The diverse range of reactions to his legacy underscores the deep divisions within society over matters of faith, morality, and the role of religion in shaping public discourse. Despite the controversies and criticisms that often surrounded him, Falwell left an indelible mark on American religious and political landscapes. His role in founding Liberty University, his influential leadership in the moral majority, and his unwavering dedication to his convictions underscore his lasting impact. The mixed legacy he leaves behind serves as a testament to the complexities of navigating the intersection of religion, politics, and societal change. As perspectives continue to evolve, Jerry Falwell Sr.'s life remains a subject of reflection and analysis, inviting ongoing discussions about the role of faith, activism, and personal beliefs in shaping the course of a nation and its values. Whether viewed as a champion of conservative ideals, or a figure associated with controversy. Falwell's life story serves as a reminder of the enduring power of individual conviction to shape the course of history.